Hey everybody, it's Kenny K again with a brand new review. Not so new movie, but not so old. I'm veering off the 80s track for this review and going to 2018 when we received The Summer of 84, which is a slasher horror movie. It's set on the genre list of IMDb, a teen horror movie, a mystery, and a thriller. Now, thrillers and slashers have a very fine line in between them, that they are sort of the same, but I still say that a thriller is somewhat different, usually with a killer that taunts the police department, for example, in a big city, and they have to, like the Zodiac killer. That's not a slasher movie for me. People say Seven is a slasher movie. I don't buy it. They say even Terminator is a slasher movie. That is something I really don't buy. But okay, this movie gets a 6.7. Great score. Great score. I'm giving it a 6. Why? Because this movie has a cult following and a really hated following, because it's a movie that's a throwback to the 80s. It feels like the 80s, but what it does wrong is that it rips a lot of movies off. So the beginning, with the neon sign, even the song, the synthesizer song, I think it's a synthesizer song, it's almost exactly the same as the Stranger Things series that everybody loves, or a lot of people like. And that's the first ripoff. Then the second ripoff is four kids that are the main actors in this movie, and it's a teen horror movie exactly like Stranger Things or It, the first It. It came out in 2017, the remake. So he ripped a little, yeah, he ripped some things off, and that's, I think that rubbed a lot of people's in the a lot of people in a bad way. The first time I saw this movie, it rubbed me a little bit in a bad way. But the second half of this movie is great. It's golden. Because then, and I'm gonna spoil this one. Sorry for everybody if you've never seen this one, but you should see this one. Stop looking at my review and go see it, and hopefully you can come back and enjoy my review. Now, and that's the reason why I'm giving it a 6. Also, there are some boring moments in the first half, but the second half really picks up the tension, because he starts to know that he's being watched, and he starts to know who it is. And that's really cool. You have to understand, we're talking about the actor name is Rich Summer. Saw his face, don't know what he did. He's the deputy Wayne Mackey. They call him Mackey in the movie. Now he's apparently one of the most liked deputies in town. So everybody's like, "Oh, Mackey! Oh, you!" He gets an award even at some point in a festival, like a corn festival or something like that. Now our four main protagonists are Davy, who instigates everything. Tommy, he's the one with the leather jacket, and he's looking at Playboys and talking about sex and BJ's and whatever. And then you have Dale. He's the fat, no, yeah, he's the fat kid, but he's actually the sweetest kid of them all. He doesn't curse as much, or even he has a mom that works like double shifts, and he puts blankets on him, but he doesn't, she can't take care of him, and he usually sleeps with Davy, and his parents understand. They're, you know, compassionate. And then you have Curtis. He's the geek, but the geek who also likes Playboy and all that shit, curses like hell. And you also have Nikki. Now she's the babysitter. Now a babysitter. She's let's say she's like 2 years older than the kids, but Davy has a crush on her, and they're all, and she's living on the other side. He can look at her bedroom. She's taking her clothes off. She sees that they're looking, so there's already this connection, right? She also at some point joins the investigation. Now they are the kids. This is a cul-de-sac, so all the kids in the neighborhood, when it's dark in the weekends, they play, I think, something called night worm, basically hide and seek. When you're spotted, you're it. And Davy is in the brushes of Mackie's garden, a supremely well prepared garden, because he's always working in the garden, and that's also a clue that he's always working in dirt and shit like that, and he's always ordering dirt and things like sulfur or something, that eats things up, like, for example, human bone. um, and she and Davy sees a kid in Mackie's kitchen, and Mackie gives him a drink, and it seems that everything goes well. But the day after that, he's gone missing, and he's on these milk cartons, the missing pictures, and he saw that kid the last time at Mackie's. Now, this big, they don't go to the police because they know he's a deputy. They don't want to, jeopardize that. So Davy tries to ask that everybody, Tommy, Dale, Curtis, and go and investigate him because he's his next door neighbor. They can see everything at some point, and that's a, I understand why they do it, but it's a little bit long. It's a little bit tedious that they're following him, writing down what he's doing. He has this strict regime. He goes jogging at some point. He goes to a deposit warehouse, a little box warehouse, and then he goes to that place and that place. And so they're following him constantly and writing up when he's not home. There is this tense moment when he thinks he's a potential killer when the boy is missing, that he asks to help him with uh, a table or something to put in the cellar. Now he puts him against the wall. He can't escape. If he would kill him, he would kill him for sure because he can't escape. The door behind him is a secret door that will later on in the review hold a lot of disturbing things. So he knows, and he's like super scared. He's, can I go? Okay. He goes, and Mackie looks at him and, sure, sure, sure. So like, it, there's also a really tense moment when he knows that's the second part. He knows he's being watched. Davy has been spotted by Mackie, and he goes to his house because I think and sorry because I didn't see this movie for this review. I saw this months ago, but I don't remember how this really tense and scary moment happened. He goes to his house in his uniform. The father adores him. He's like, "Oh, Deputy Mackey, you're gonna get your award." He's a journalist, the dad of Davy, and he he the father goes outside. He's alone with Davy in the house. He's coming towards Davy, and there's something with a phone. I think there was something that he calls. I think he's pretending to call, and then he looks at Davy, and he looks really evil-like, and he, super tense moment. Eventually, it leads to nothing, but it's really tense. Now, when Mackie gets that reward, it's the perfect time to enter his house, right? So they, oh, something happened here too. Look at that. They found Mackie. uh, there's there's something happening okay, in that house. So they go in that house. I'm not sure all four of them. I think Davy, Dale, and I think Curtis. I'm not sure they. I don't think Tommy joined them, and Nikki joins them sometimes. She even kisses Davy at one point. Not that she's in love with him, but it's like, here's one, your first kiss. It's a present. You know what? Yeah, what? So he can, you know, boast, get to his friends, I got a kiss from the most beautiful girl of the neighborhood, and a kid thing, right? So they open that door. It's bolted, but they open it. They see a bathtub with a half dissolving kid in there, and then a kid on chains, still alive. And they immediately, and meantime, Mackie's getting a reward. They immediately call the sheriff. They call, but Mackie gets wind of something and he gets the fuck out of there. The sheriff is called. An entire police, uh, all police cars are around Mackie's house. They're getting all these bodies out, bodies that are buried. And like I said, he's planting stuff and bodies under there. He killed at least a dozen kids or something. And but they don't know where Mackie is. Everybody's scared. They don't know where he is. And Dale asks Davy to sleep with him. I mean, sleep over. And then the craziest shit happens. The most ballsy move this movie can make. Now, Dale and Davy are sleeping, and you see the attic opening up, and you see Mackie coming out of there, knocking the kids out, taking them to a swamp where he dumped more bodies, even more bodies, he said. And then he does something out of the blue, something really fucked up. Now, this is the subject that's matter that I wanted to talk. This is so taboo in every horror movie. 80s did uh, killing kids. Now they did show dead kids like items that are laying there with some blood. I know in the Mutilator or Fall Break, the dad he dreams of his kid killing his kid, like strangling him or shooting him or slicing his throat a little bit with the battle axe. And but that that didn't feel like those were dreams. But this one, he just takes Dale, the nicest kid of the bunch, slices his neck from ear to ear. The blood, you see the slash opening and all the blood. This kid, you see, you don't see it coming. And then he says something to Davy, and it's so creepy because the movie starts with him as the paper boy. Everybody's smiling, everybody's having a good time. But then he says to Davy, "You meddling shit. Now I have to run. But I'm not gonna kill you today. But no, I'm gonna kill you one day. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next month, next year, even a few years. But you won't see it coming, and I will be coming for you. Live your life in darkness and paranoia. I will come for you and kill you." And then he goes. Saying this gets goosebumps. I get goosebumps by saying this kid, you see the exact same scene at the end from the beginning where he's with the paper boy. Everything is dark now. People are arguing. The leather jacket kid is sitting on the sidewalks crying because he got a hit from his drunk dad. Uh, Nikki has to move and she didn't want to, and she drives away in the station wagon and she sees Davy and she's crying, and you see her through the back window. Curtis is like running away from Davy because, of course, he knows that Davy probably he blames Davy for Dale's death. Maybe a lot of people, and he's constantly looking like this, and the movie ends. That's movie gold, in my opinion, and that's why this movie gets a six. And I didn't give it a 6.5 or a 7. It gets a 6, but still, that's a rewatchable movie. That's a great movie, and I know they ripped a lot of shit off in the beginning. And I know the first part is a little bit, it can be boring, some tedious shit in there, but the second part is really the payoff part, and especially that ending. And I'm thinking about a kid kill. Now, they're not the first to do that because, of course, it was first with the Georgie kill, ripping his arm off, which I also didn't see coming and was really fucked up in a way, but not so fucked up as this because it came out of the blue. I can't. Yeah, it's. But in any case, this movie you really should give it a try. Um, Sorry for spoiling it, but I had to talk about that ending and that dialogue that he gives Davy before he goes. It's just great. Great movie overall. Uh, don't listen to the haters. If you're a slasher fan, if you're a horror fan, or you're just an average Joe looking for a good horror thriller, you're gonna like this movie and be disturbed at the end, or surprised at least. So hope you subscribe. It's free, like I said all the time. I'm even not, if let's say if I get 100,000 plus subscribers, I won't ask money. It's all for free, baby. So subscribe is just a badge of honor for me that I'm hope doing a good job, that I feel that you think I'm doing a good job. That's the only thing I get out of this. And I think it's fun. Fun to talk about movies. To make fun of them, not really making an ass of the director, but characters. Because there are stupid movies out there, and they're fun to review, and there are good movies out there, and there are good and bad movies out there, half and half. So subscribe and let's go on this horror journey, and see you next time. Adios.